Mountaintop views are wonderful, beautiful, and very refreshing. But there's times when the Lord, as He's maturing us in the faith, will lead us in the valley of crucified thoughts. And during those periods in time, it can be very difficult trying to understand and make sense of what it is that we're being taught. While I was traveling down the narrow path that few find and fewer follow, suddenly I found myself completely out of savings. My stocks and retirement funds were completely gone. And it cost me everything that I had at that time to continue to follow Christ down the path that He was leading me. Suddenly, I even found myself having to sell my car just to pay for food and the mortgage payments. It was around this time that I got a phone call from Prophet Jess Bilby, who called and he says, "What's going on with you? Tell me about it. Where are you at?" And I said, "Well, I'm waiting on God to send a boat or a car or a helicopter or something to come and rescue me, to give me a job or a way to make money. Because right now I'm out of money and I'm really struggling to survive." And he said, "Well, do you have any equity in the condo that you own?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." He said, "Are you just going to let the bank take it? Or are you going to sell your condo so that you have some money to live off of?" Well, that's not what I was expecting to hear from him, but he recommended that I sell that condo and that I take the money. He said, "You've been faithful in everything that God has asked you to do up to this point in time." He said, "Why don't you sell the condo, take that money, head out west, and go enjoy yourself until the money runs out." He says, "When you do," he said, "the Lord will tell you what to do next." Well, as crazy as this sounds, that's made a lot of sense to me. I had been faithful. I had put all my savings and retirement funds into the ministry that God had called me to do. I was flat broke, and now I was walking. At this point in time, I was so committed to my faith journey, I thought, yes, this makes a lot of sense. Why not spend the last penny I have so that the only thing I have that I can depend on is God? Well, he ended up selling me an RV for only like $6,500, and I went out west and got to see some of the most amazing things that most people never get to see. I enjoyed myself for 3 months until the money ran out. And when it did, I got a call again from Jess Bilby. And this time he said, "Hey, I'm starting a fivefold ministry in Springfield, Missouri, and I'm bringing some pastors together and others to be able to start a new church, and you're welcome to be a part of it." So I felt led, after praying about it, to take off from California and drive towards Springfield, Missouri, where this new church was going to be planted. On my way there, once again, I'm reminded of God's perfect timing. The RV broke down, and this time when it broke down, I called Jess, and Jess said, "I don't have any money to help you." He said, "You're going to have to call somebody else." When I called my mom, she says, "I don't have any money to help you either. You're going to have to call somebody else." Well, I prayed some more, and this time, after praying about it, I really felt led to call my ex-wife. I hadn't talked to her in a long time. I had no idea that I had any money tied up in stocks that I wasn't aware of. If I was aware of it, I would have probably have cashed it in and put it towards the festivals that God had called me to organize. But this was just set aside for the right timing, God's perfect timing. She told me about it. She gave me the account number and the phone number, and I called up, and I had enough money not only to fix the RV and get me to Springfield, Missouri, but enough to pay for the first 6 months that I would be there. I don't understand how God works out all this timing, but clearly this was a divine appointment to call my ex-wife and for me to be able to get access to those resources that I didn't even know I had. It's amazing how, when we get on this faith journey, how God turns around and takes care of our needs, sometimes in ways that we can't even think about or imagine.